I would like to begin with some brief information about your background. Can you tell us where you went to law school?
Cleveland Marshall.
What do you do and what kind of law do you practice?
Well, labor and employment. I've been a labor and employment lawyer at least since the inception of my career as a lawyer. That involves everything soup to nuts. Anything that deals with employees, I deal with, whether it's EEO, OSHA, LIB matters, wrongful discharge, collective bargaining negotiations, I handle it.
Are you a solo practitioner or a member of a law firm?
I'm a member of Benish Friedlander and have been for approximately the last almost quarter of a century.
How long have you been practicing in Cleveland?
A little bit over 40 years.
How long have you been a member of the law library?
About the same time.
How did you first find out about the Cleveland Law Library?
I kind of stumbled into it. After my first year of law school, I was working across the street at the clerk's office, the Court of Clerk's office. It bored the heck out of me. I was desperate to get out of there. So within about a week, I walked across the street, and Art Fisk was then the director of the Cleveland Law Library, and I begged him to give me a job, which he did. So that summer was an idyllic summer for me. I spent stacking books and assisting other attorneys with doing their research, and spent the entire summer as a clerk here at the law library.
Have you spent a lot of time here over the years?
Yeah, not recently because I'm an old guy now, but early on in my career I was here quite often, especially as a young associate at another law firm, did a lot of research here. Back then, of course, we didn't have computers. It was like during the Mesozoic era, you had to watch out for the Tyrannosaurus rexes and stuff to get here. But spent, I would say, a couple of days a week doing research here. It was an invaluable resource.
How often do you visit the library now?
As I said, not that frequently anymore, probably once a year at max. I usually have associates do the research if they come here, but I come here sometimes for programs. I've had a program or two here at, because of the grace of Kathy Dugan. She allows me to pontificate about novels that I write.
Would you say that a lot has changed here over the years?
Oh yeah. Some of which, when I walked in here, just kind of reminded me that there is so much that has not changed, which I think is imperative, because the library was outstanding to begin with. It's a phenomenal resource. It's one of the premier resources in the entire country. I'm not sure that there are too many bar associations or major metropolitan bars that have the benefit of a law library like this. And so it's something that is a valuable resource to all attorneys, whether you are an associate at a firm or someone like me who relies upon associates to do complete resource for high, ticket items, things that are, the amount in controversy is either substantial or the substantive issue is an important one for either your client or the nation as a whole.
What do you remember about our staff, past or present?
Phenomenal staff. As I said, I met Art Fisk here, who was the director of the law library over 40 years ago. And his sister, Alice White, was the assistant director, and Bob Barner was the guy who made the trains run on time. They were phenomenal. They knew everything there was to know about legal research. And as I said, that was after my first year of law school. I was about to become a staff member of the Law Review. I think it was just incredibly helpful to go through the kind of tutorial that they gave me, both in terms of lessons that they would sit down with us and talk to us about how to do research, but also the experience of assisting attorneys in finding the volumes that they needed or certain information that they needed for their cases.
Is there anything we didn't talk about that you would like to add?
Yeah, one thing about the law library that had a lasting influence on my life is, while I was working here after my first year of law school, this is where I met my wife. She came in, she was an attorney also, came in, at the time, she was already an attorney, came in, got a book, left, and I, of course, accessed the private confidential information that the law library keeps on everybody to find out what her number was, her work number was, and I told her that the book was overdue and that there was a substantial fine that I could alleviate that fine, and she came and returned the book to me personally. And so at that point she returned. I was concerned, of course, that there was a substantial fine, and then quickly found out that I was making all this stuff up. And that began a relationship that has lasted for over 40 years.